I sit right in front of Sub-Zero over here in the back. We are at Win the Storm Convention 2023 out here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I got a special guest, Mr. Jean-Paul Nosak right here. Hey, you and I talked a little bit. Hey, we started talking about trees and whatnot, and man, you're actually a professional tree climber by trade, man.
Yes, sir.
So evidently you told me you got out of that, you got into sales, and so what's up? What do you do now, man? Tell me about it.
So I do sales for a GC company called J&E Construction out of Miami.
Out of Miami, okay, not far from here.
They do everything. We can build up as high as you can go. We can work on skyscrapers. We do full custom home builds. We've been in magazines for the homes that we built. But yeah, I did start in the tree industry at a family company back in Oklahoma.
I remember you telling me about that, man.
When I was 16, my uncle handed me a harness and he said, keep this. It's going to make you a lot of money one day. Okay. And it did. It made me, as much as I needed to make with it. But then I slowly got into roofing. I moved to Naples, 2017, Hurricane Irma. I initially came down here with my Uncle Paul to do the push, and help get all the trees and debris off the road so the emergency crews can get through and help the homeowners, that are in need. And after, the surge of work died down, I said to my uncle, I said, this place is beautiful, Uncle Paul. I want to move here. And so from that, he said, John Paul, I think that's the best thing you can do. Why don't you just start your own little tree company and move down here? I was like, well, why are you leaving? He was like, well, I got an overhead of $10K a day for diesel, per diem, payroll,
right.
And I was like, well, heck, there's all this work for the little guy. So I packed my truck up. I helped my uncle drive some of the trucks back home. We had a semi there, crane, stump grinders.
Yeah, we talked about cranes and everything like that.
Lift. Yeah, he's just got a boom truck. It's like a 30-ton or something like that. He bought it from the Jufrey brothers. Do you know them?
No, man, I haven't heard from them.
I think they're up north.
Jake might have heard from him. I mean, our biggest crane right now is Hulk. That's got a reach of or Hulk or Hulk. I'm trying to remember. I get them confused. One's got a 172-foot reach.
You have those high-end cranes, though, where you can reduce or you can remove all danger from having a man in the tree, though, right?
Absolutely. Over houses and everything. I think that's the coolest part is when we pull up with a crane over a house, just like to remove a tree from a house. Not even a disaster. Just, hey, I got a water oak that I'm starting to make nervous. You know what I'm saying? It's making me nervous. Can you come get it? And we're like, there's no access anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Barely a climber and a couple of chainsaws can fit. But we go over the house and take it off piece by piece by piece, And that's the safest way to dismantle a tree, okay? You can rope anything down, obviously, but then you're going to mess up the backyard and stuff like that. And the time it's going to take, bro. It's going to take triple the time, okay? Instead, when you can come up over the house and lift up the whole crown and drop it in the driveway and have, the guys chop it up and then load it into the truck or the chipper or whatever you got to haul it off. Yeah, oh, exactly. Yeah,
it's the safest way, the most efficient. And the homeowner is going to be happy that their whole backyard doesn't have tracks all over it.
Exactly. Well, not just tracks, but divots all over the place from all these branches and limbs falling and everything. Yes. Now, one of the cool things Jacob taught me, again, you and I talked, I've been in the car business 20 years, just woke up one morning, wanted out of the car industry. Jacob and I have been friends for years. And so he's like, yeah, dude, come do sales and marketing for me. But when they were in Florida for Irma, just now?
Yes.
Or Ian. Was it Ian?
Ian is the one that
Irma
just
so much. Ian.
And they're so close. They're so close together, Irma and Ian.
And he was telling me, he's like, man, there's some stuff that we couldn't do, but there were some roofers that were struggling trying to pick up TPO. I don't even know what a TPO is. Evidently, it's big as hell and heavy as hell.
TPO is usually on flat roofs, okay, or something with a low slope, like 2/12 or less, okay?
Mostly commercial from my understanding, right?
It's like plastic that's heat welded together, yes.
Okay.
It's usually commercial, like big stores like Walmart will use it for their roofs and things like that.
Well, Jake was telling me that he had an idea. He's like, man, what if we could help you guys? He's like, well, how are you going to help us? You got cranes. You cut trees and shit. How are you going to help us? Jake changed
the roof.
He changed it. He was taking 2 and 3 TPOs at one time.
Yeah.
And putting them on a 14, 15-story building.
Oh, dude, yeah.
They did 30 TPOs in a couple of hours instead of 3 days.
With your machine, you can put different attachments on there and take off the saw.
Absolutely, we can do different attachments.
So you can shove the forks right on there.
Oh yeah, we could do. Yeah. We can do the forks. We can do just the.
Does it have a regular grapple?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Probably got 5 or 6 different attachments to it. But not just that. Worst case scenario, you take everything off and you just have where your pins go through. And you put your straps on there.
Oh yeah.
And we start to strap everything down instead of using climbers if need be. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing what I've learned in the last few months being in this industry.
Oh yeah.
But the crazy part is how ignorant I am to everything, dude. I know nothing at all.
The one thing I always said about tree work is when you start, just forgetting about the risk factor that's involved with it, that's when things go bad. So you always need to respect those trees, because you never know how much that 100,000 leaves weigh. You may think you have it balanced correctly with the straps, and then this thing teeter-totters on you.
And that's what we always tell our crane operators. Hey, smaller picks, smaller picks.
Yes.
Because remind me of this when we're done. I'll show you a video of a crane. Somebody hired, again, tree guy, so you'll understand.
I've seen my uncle flip a few cranes.
Okay, but
it wasn't him actually.
This was just a
operator.
Monster 100-ton stick crane that went up. I won't say the company's name because it's a nationwide company.
It's fine.
But evidently, the owner of the company did not know his driver had it, and they tried to remove 4 massive, I'm talking probably 3.5, 4 feet across in diameter, pine trees. And this crane all of a sudden wants to speed up the job and tries to take a 40, 50-foot pine tree in one lift. Well, what they did, the crane, and not only that, the weight of it, one of the legs broke the ground, sunk, and the whole crane flipped.
That'll throw off your whole equilibrium.
Hey,
the whole crane will go
fell
over.
On a house.
Yeah.
House done, damage, destroyed. This lady's personal general contractor is a very good friend of mine. He's like, Nick, have you seen what's going on Facebook? Dude, there's so much stuff on Facebook. What have I missed this time? So he sent me the video. I'm like, oh, dude, what happened? So he starts telling me. We go over there, but I mean, the tree still got to get going. We got to clean up all the debris. That tree fell in 3, their house, the neighbors, and then the next neighbor's house.
You're talking about
big it is.
That massive 100-ton crane. That's huge.
God, dude,
you shouldn't even be using that on a residential property, honestly.
Exactly.
You want something small, like a 30-ton that can go in the driveway and not cause any cracks.
I want to say Hulk is 90 or 92,000.
Do you guys use like temporary roads or anything with your stuff?
No, not temporary roads. We have big monster mats and some hard.
That's what I meant.
They're probably about an inch and a half, thick. They're that plastic. But kind of moldable plastic sometimes.
And then they like jigsaw together.
Yes,
right? Yes. Cook together.
We use those to go on top of stuff. Now our smaller crane Athena has a 126 reach, and that's 48,000 pounds. So we can actually put that in certain driveways.
Yeah.
To reach out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you have the equipment to come into the residential areas, but also come through and log if you need to.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Well, did you see the orange track crane?
And do land
on the
clearing.
left side?
Yeah, I did.
Dude, Jacob owns 2 of the 4 track cranes in the country. And I mean, I think he's waiting on the other 2 just to get built. I don't think anybody else owns them.
Wow. So let me ask you a question. How many trees are you taking off of houses? Like, let's say 1 in 10. How many are on a house usually?
Again, I haven't done a storm. Again, 20 years in the car business. I've only been here 2 months, roughly.
Okay.
So I've only done, all the people I know, knocking doors, residential jobs. Right now I'm helping put a project together. We're remodeling a golf course that's been condemned for like 10 years. Somebody just bought it.
Yeah, you were telling me that yesterday.
I mean, we're doing class 1. Look, it's either a class 1 or it's coming down.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. There's no question. There's no nitpicking. It's alive.
Yeah. Well, you're doing land restoration.
Basically,
right now.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But as for trees on a house, Jacob probably would tell you thousands.
Right, so I'll give you the answer here. Usually it's about 2 out of 10 is usually on a house during a storm, even more sometimes. It depends on how dense their yard is. But every time I pull up to a tree job in the past, it's on the house, right? So you get your cranes, and usually the insurance is going to cover that, if it's on insured property. See, for our homeowners out there, if a tree just falls in the middle of your yard, and it's not on insured property,
right,
the insurance isn't going to cover it. It needs to be on a fence or any type of permanent improvement to the structure. Meaning, if there's a paver patio, that's a permanent improvement to the property. And if one limb's on there, the insurance will cover to take that away.
Jake taught me that.
Okay. Now there is separate coverage in your policy specifically for debris removal, and it is not outlined in A, B, C, or D. It's hidden coverage, and a lot of people don't know about this. And so when you get these storms and everybody's trying to just pay cash, to get their trees done as quick as possible, yes, that's the first thing that needs to be cleaned up. But these homeowners need to understand that the insurance is liable for that tree to take it off their property if it's on the covered peril. Okay.
Right. And that's one of the things I've learned in this industry is that, like, I mean, let's take, this insurance claim headquarters right here. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize there were attorneys that all they do is fight insurance companies.
Yes.
All they do is help the consumer.
Yep.
I didn't realize there were insurance companies that all they did was battle other insurance companies.
Oh yeah.
Like, man, it's crazy what I don't know about the business in its entirety, not just trees just yet.
It's taken me 6 years to really learn the insurance process to a T, to where I can meet a client and reiterate it to them within an hour and have them understand the process of insurance. You see, your claim stays open through the whole process of rebuilding your home.
Okay.
You never want to sign a release
until everything's done.
Until everything is done.
Oh, I'm sure it's kind of like a car accident. You don't want to sign anything until you're 100% done. Your attorney says, here's your check. Go ahead and sign off.
Well, before you ever get to attorneys, you want to have a contractor on your side who understands insurance laws, okay? Who can perform all the repairs prescribed by the insurance company, okay? So that's where I would come in to play for these homeowners, okay? You guys handle the trees, correct?
Yep.
Okay, and then you submit your bill to the insurance company, right? The homeowner, all they need to pay is their deductible, right?
Okay.
You submit your bill to the insurance, but let's say the tree is on a home and the trusses are broken. You need to find a contractor now who can get a structurals engineer report to see if the home is safe to rebuild on. Let's say the walls shift. You have to have that stuff looked at. So, you guys get paid by the insurance to take the trees off the house. Then the GC comes in and rebuilds the house, But then let's say that we shoot in our estimates and the insurance starts acting like a turkey, right? And we exhaust all our efforts as a contractor, okay? Because we're going to do the documentation with photos. Photos are very important in a claim. And we're going to produce a damage report and send all this in along with our estimate for replacement, okay? Or repair, whatever it is. If they start acting like a turkey, that's where you want to go to the legal team, okay? And I also advocate for a company called Florin and Rodbig law firm, okay? And they're trial attorneys. They specialize in property damage. They've recovered over like $3 billion in settlements for homeowners over the past, I think they've been in business since the 80s.
That's unreal.
And
that's
so
a big number.
Once you exhaust your efforts with your contractor, and if the insurance is acting like a turkey, you want to move to that legal team because you need to get whatever you deserve, everything you deserve from the insurance company. If you've been paying all these years, you know what I mean?
Oh, exactly.
Never ever settle. Their whole thing is delay, deny, defend. Okay, and I've seen it all. I've seen trees through houses where they say, they try to get out of paying for it. I've seen trees on fences, and because the fence wasn't touching the actual house, they said, well, that's not insured. That's not an insured fence.
Well, no fence touches the house.
Well, sometimes these adjusters will say if the fence is not connected to the side of the house, then we're not covering those 15 trees in the backyard that are all over your nice vinyl fence. You know what I mean? And so when they start acting like a turkey, you need to call the right type of help to get you the stuff you deserve. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
so,
man. Well, dude, look, I it's always been a play, man. You and I talked in, BS a little bit yesterday, man, and it was cool. I'm glad to see you come back and actually sit with me and teach me a little bit about just, some more about the tree business that I'm actually into getting, involved in, really enjoying it.
It's a great industry.
I really want to work towards my arborist license. I mean, I really want to take this to the next level and just retire with Jacob.
I had a student membership with the National Arbor. Oh man, it's an institute. It's Arboriculture Institute. I forget the exact acronym right now. But when I was a student, I was very into trees. I mean, I had all the horticulture books, learning them by the Latin names. Learning an important thing, homeowners out there, is you want to hire the right kind of tree cutter to come to your house, because if you cut the limb in the wrong area, not at the bark cambium membrane, it won't heal over correctly. Okay, so if you have an inexperienced climber up there pruning your trees and he's cutting stuff right in the middle, to a limb reduction, it's gonna the whole limb's gonna die out.
I've learned about proper and improper cuts.
Yeah, there needs to be an upgrowth,
with my guys,
and you need to come right before the upgrowth where it kind of like bubbles up, where you can see that bark can be in membrane layer, right? You cut right in front of there, because then it's gonna seal up that area so bugs and stuff don't get in there and start eating that wood, because the wood is gonna die. Yes, you just cut it, but there is the exterior layer of a tree that's gonna close it over.
What's gonna happen on the inside?
The inside, yes, there's gonna be a little bit of dead wood, but that new growth on the outside is going to heal over it. But if you just lob it off where there isn't another like sucker growth or something, an upgrowth, it's just going to die out through the whole thing, all the way back to the next upgrowth. If that, it might kill the whole limb. If you cut a tree the wrong way, you can shock it. Okay, it'll the whole tree will die. Okay, if you take too much out of the tree, it'll shock it.
See, like in the state of Louisiana, we can't skylift. Just straight up, just cut like it's a power line if it's at your house. Oh yeah, like these are over my house. I just want you to go, just cut it. I want you to skyline it. I want you to skyline it and be done.
And that's the worst thing you can do.
Ma'am, I'm not doing that. What we could do is, get it 6 to 8 foot off your house. Do what we call some weight reduction.
Yes.
Trim a little bit towards the inside.
Yep.
Things like that.
Yes. So each tree has a risk factor. I learned this in a risk factor tree management class. Okay, each tree has a risk factor. What is it going to hit if it falls? Okay, if it is near a road, are there kids playing under it? What is the risk factor? You can calculate this up. Okay, now let's get into like some intricate stuff. Okay, so let's say there's like a 100-year-old oak tree at a restaurant out back that they love. Okay, and they don't want to take it down. They want to keep it. Let's say it has a crack, right? You calculate up the risk factor of the tree. Can we lower the risk factor with cabling? Let's say you can always reduce the risk factor, but it'll never be zero. So you look at the surroundings. What is it going to hit if it falls this way and that way? Who plays under it? Are there cars parked under it during the day? That all adds up to your percentage of risk factor. Then you look at the health of the tree. Does it have dead tips? Sometimes dead tips on a tree mean that it's been shocked somehow. Maybe the roots have been disrupted. Maybe it's getting chemicals seeping into the soil around it. And so, you have that 200-year-old tree in that restaurant. The restaurant owner wants to keep it. You, as the arborist, need to help him identify what the risk factor is and minimize it to the least amount as possible. It'll never be zero, though. But as a professional arboriculture, that's how you kind of want to look at things. If it's a terminal tree, though, you want to let them know, hey, this thing needs to go. It needs to go. Like, I've seen trees with splits all the way down the trunk, and they want it to keep it. And as much as you want to try to preserve, you can't. You can't. The next big wind that blows, you're going to have a large loss, and you're going to have a 200-year-old tree in your living room or something. So sometimes, complete removal is the way to go.
Yeah.
But if it's like trees add value to your property, so a lot of people want to keep them
the best they can.
Yeah. And another thing that you can get into is, let's say that you have a neighbor that has a tree, and it's gonna hit your home if it falls. The only way to, like, let's say if it falls on your property, I think in the state of Florida, if it falls in your yard, it's your responsibility.
Yes.
I know back in Oklahoma,
same in Louisiana, same thing.
So if you are afraid that your neighbor's tree is going to fall in your yard, the only thing you can do to get out of, paying for that, if it does fall, is you have to send your neighbor a certified letter stating that you think this is a danger to your property. Certified, mail it over to them. That way you have documentation that you put them on notice.
Man.
Okay.
So, that I was unaware of. Now these are all situations that you can actually help people with as well, right?
Oh yeah.
So how does we need to start wrapping it up real quick?
Of course.
So how do people get a hold of you?
So you can find me on Facebook, John Paul Nosak, and that's Nosak.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram, same thing, John Paul Nosak. And my work number is 918. I'm from Oklahoma.
All right.
Don't hate the 918. 918-991-3217. If you guys have any roofing questions or any type of building questions, give me a call. I always answer my phone. Or you can shoot me an email at John Paul's, plural with an S, enterprise @gmail.com.
Nice, man.
Okay.
Well, hey, JP, I appreciate you so much, man. Look, I'm sure we'll talk again later this afternoon. And
yes, sir.
Thank you again for coming sit with me and taking some time out.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great experience.
Sounds good, brother. Awesome.
Thank you.